Office Christmas parties are a lot of fun. Not as much for sober people. They're just not. Many of you are sober. I'm sober. Things are less fun for us now. Understand that. Stop living in a fantasy world that things are as fun as they used to be. But things are not as fun as they used to be, but they're also not as bad as they used to be. And when you're an adult, you understand that that's what it is. Life is a trade-off. It is not as fun to go to a Christmas party sober, but it's almost pointless because alcohol is that social lubricant that allows you to really, first of all, what alcohol allows you to do at Christmas parties is you start looking around at the people that you see every day and you start appreciating them and you start imagining that what's going on constitutes a life, which it doesn't. But alcohol allows you to believe that Sue from accounting and you have a bond because that one time she got your name wrong, but then she rushed a change so that you could get paid by Friday. And remember that, Sue? Remember that? And remember when you came in the kitchen and I was like eyeballing Natalia's lunch and you made that joke, oh, don't steal her lunch, and I didn't. And, you always kind of looked at me skeptically, Sue, because of that. And you thought maybe he was stealing lunches and I wasn't. What I was doing, this is all hypothetical. What I was doing is I was looking at what other people ate. That's what I was doing. I wasn't stealing anything. Why don't you go back to your office and fucking get the names on the checks right? Because I've worked here for 7 months, Sue. So what alcohol allows you to do is when you get really hammered, you don't want Sue to die in a car accident anymore, which is what you want every day. You want to say hello to Sue. You want to say, how are you? How's your daughter? You have a daughter. Oh, she's going to Northwestern. Isn't that good, Sue? You look around at the people in your orbit and you go, oh, these are people and this is a life. I'm living a life. This is a life. This'll do. This'll do. It's Christmas. I work at a shitty company. We all hate each other. We're all terrified of losing our job. We're working for this fucking drunk loser. This whole thing's probably a Ponzi scheme. We're probably going to be thrown out into the street any minute. But right now, there are lights on the bar. There's booze in my cup. There's a Southwestern egg roll. If you're lucky enough to be at Chili's, there's a Southwestern egg roll, or there's a little shrimp with a tangy fucking, cocktail sauce. And you can nibble on that and booze it up while Bald Mike from accounting comes over and tells a couple of street jokes that he heard. If you have to do that sober, you want to shoot up the whole thing. It's hard to do. It doesn't make any sense. Because you realize very quickly, if you're sober, that this is a horror. Of all the places in my life I could have ended up, to end up in this shitty bar, in a strip mall with these losers in this corner of the world is such a human tragedy. Sure, it's not as bad as stepping on a landmine or having cancer or getting fucked every day by senators or having a fucking, an adoption go wrong and then you're getting burned with cigarettes. I get it. People have worse problems. But if you're a sentient human being and you're self-aware and you look around and you have to fucking have another conversation with Denise, who talks only about the one time she went to Aruba and that she's saving up for another cruise so she can take her plump, fat Italian ass and put it on the top deck of a Carnival ship so she can tan. And when I tan, I'm basically black. I'm basically black when I tan. I tan, I'm black. I'm black when I tan. And you have to sit there and you have to listen to these people, these mouth breathers that don't have any idea that they too are locked in this hell, that they are in this fucking simulation, but they are not cursed with self-awareness like you are. They are like animals. They don't have the power of reason. They don't think. They just fart and fuck and move. That's what they do. But you, for whatever reason, have been cursed, like much of humanity, with a little self-awareness. So when you're at that bar and maybe you're a little early and you're waiting in your car because you don't want to be the first one there, but you're not going to go home first because if you go home first, you know you're not going to fucking go. You know you're not going if you go home first. So you get to the place a little fucking early because God forbid you work a little harder at work and you're just in the bar and you get there and you're alone and the only person who's there is fucking Ralph, and Ralph's creepy as fuck and he's probably a pedophile. style you don't know, but he's fucking weird because he talks about high school girls a lot, and that makes you very uncomfortable. And Ralph is there, and you're like, fuck, I don't want people walking in and seeing me and Ralph there. But who walks in? The boss. And he walks in because you're standing there with fucking Ralph, and you're like, fuck. And the boss is there just to make sure everything goes well tonight, you know, because he knows he's running a scam, but at least he's got to keep everyone invested in it. Once a year, he throws a stupid, shitty Christmas party. We get a tray of wings, a chafing dish of, balsamic chicken, some penne alla vodka, and you walk around, you commiserate with these fucking dolts that you work with and you have to see every day. And at that point, some booze and a few hits off a fucking blunt or vape can really go a long way. It starts to get fun because you start to realize it's not that bad. Things aren't that bad. Look where other people are. That kid you grew up with, he's dead. Remember him? He just disappeared one day and they found him in a lake. It's okay. There's movie theaters and Italian restaurants and girls that might suck your dick if you buy him eggplant parmesan. Things aren't that bad. And sure, you didn't really do anything with your life and you're just floating around. You're 25 years old. You're sexually weird and confused. You can barely perform with women. You don't have that many friends left. Many of them have passed you by and they threaten you so you get them out. It's fine though, because at the end of the day, these people at this shitty job see promise in you. I mean, do they really? Let's be honest. They hired you before you even said anything. They just needed a warm body in their office to convince themselves what they were doing was fucking reasonable. But hey, it doesn't matter. It's not that bad because you can call that fat girl again that you boned last month. Maybe she'll be involved and then you can just fuck. Not even because you enjoy it, just because you can say to yourself, well, I'm fucking, I'm part of it. You can imagine that shitty little Levitt home you'll buy in a few years when you just save your money and your parents are proud of you because you finally have a basement apartment in Hicksville. Things aren't that bad. You're not in jail. You're not in prison. You're not dead. You measure yourself against the absolute lowest of the low. You say to yourself, hey, I'm not shooting up schools. Look at me. I'm not doing anything wrong. And maybe it's a dead-end job. And maybe I have nothing left and I have nothing in common with these people. And every passion that I have, I've extinguished because they've all frightened me. But it doesn't matter because I had a few Kettle Ones and I smoked a joint and Ralph's kind of funny now. And Denise, she's a big goofball. She's saving for a cruise. You know, when she tans, she looks black. She's got a big fat ass. And you might fuck that ass. Who knows? It's weird. But then there's another guy in the office, Clark. He's kind of gender non-specific. Would you let Clark blow you in a bathroom? You don't know. That's for the third or the fourth drink to tell. And you actually start liking your boss, even though he's clearly a criminal and he'll probably be in jail in a few years. What he says makes sense about hustling and grinding and just making it happen. He didn't need a college degree. He didn't need any discernible talent or skill. He just kept pushing through, kept calling old people and telling them they should remortgage their house. And you just followed that because you wanted to prove that you're a real man with a Lexus. And in those situations, it is so essential to have a cocktail, a stuffed mushroom. I mean, this is what it is. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to get better. It's not going to get better. The things that I have to do for my own business sober. After my Netflix special, I went to the Netflix party and it was embarrassing because Netflix had like a bucket of hummus that they poured on the floor and all these poor comedians got on their hands and knees and lapped it up like street cats in an alley. I was, of course, appalled by this and I looked at my manager and I said, I'm leaving. And I went with my friends Eric Taylor and Laura Severus, very funny comics from Boston, to a local Waffle House where we witnessed almost a fight, but the Waffle House has guards. Listen, it was late at night and people were passionate. My point is that Waffle House with two close friends was much better than a shitty party. Now, many of the other comedians enjoyed that. They enjoyed hobnobbing with agents and managers and networks. They like scum. You know, they like vapid shells of human beings. They want to walk around and feel like they're important. They want to really luxuriate in that moment. To me, I hate it. I'm disgusted by it. I want to leave immediately because it's low rent shit. It's low rent shit. It's comedy. It should be. It's not a fucking velvet rope. It's not a fucking VIP section. You're not getting head in the back of One Oak or 10 Maple or whatever the fuck these places are. You're in a shitty hotel bar with some executive from Netflix eating hummus. It is not an accomplishment. It is an embarrassment. It's another word that sounds like it. I can see how you would get them confused. I have to go to parties all the time and I stand there sober and I realize I don't really enjoy many people and it's not their fault, nor is it mine. It's just the way it is. And booze would help that and weed would help it and pills would would help it, but that's okay. It's okay because I realize that those things also have many, many negative, and it makes the person you do connect with sober all the more meaningful and important. Maybe, whatever. The point is, you can't relapse, folks. You can't go back. You can't go back. That's the point. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because you're going to find a way out of that life. If you sober up, if you fuck, because I have a lot of people fucking messaging me about drugs and alcohol. A lot of people. If you find a way to sober up, you got a few shitty Christmas parties ahead of you. You're going to find your way out of there. You're going to find a way to do something that you really fucking enjoy. That's what it is. Survival is not only about finding food, water, and shelter. It's about finding something that doesn't make you miserable to do. You'll find that. Or you'll find a way to make more money being miserable. I don't know. And then find a hobby you like. It's not my business. The month of December is very tough in terms of sobriety. It's tough for a lot of people. They talk about their family Christmas. They like getting fucked up on their family Christmas. But to me, it was always the office Christmas party. And, when I was in mortgages, you would not only go to your party, but you would go to the parties of the real estate agents or the title companies. You would hit a few different office parties, and even the bars and restaurants in your area, they all seem festive. And when things seem festive, it seems like a fun time and you should just booze it up. It just seems fun. Every day's a party. Thursday night's a party. Unless you're in the throes of it and you're not ready to stop, then just don't drive.